Thank you for supporting our graduates and sharing in their accomplishments. And a special thank you to the family and friends for your support throughout the past 8 weeks. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge our leadership. Commissioner Michael Nell, Executive Operations Director Sandra Thomas, Chief Operating Officer Bert Fluellen, and Deputy Director of Field Operations Chad Purvis. Unfortunately, Assistant Commissioner Scott Maurer and Field Operations Director Patrick Holsey could not be in attendance today, but they did wish us to send their congratulations. We would also like to acknowledge all senior management team members and deputy directors, all district directors, all coordinating chiefs, and chiefs. In addition, we would like to acknowledge and thank the State Board of Pardons and Paroles for their continued support. A group that deserves special recognition is our training staff and adjunct instructors. These individuals serve as subject matter experts and invest countless hours preparing our students. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Department of Community Supervision's Deputy Director of Field Operations, Chad Purvis. Chad began his career with the Georgia Department of Corrections in 2000 as a probation officer in the Piedmont Circuit. He supervised all types of caseloads up until he was promoted to the position of Assistant Chief in 2006. He then became the Center Administrator at the Gainesville Day Reporting Center in 2010 and remained in that capacity until 2011. In 2011, he was promoted to the position of Chief Probation Officer of the Oklahoma Judicial Circuit and served as the Chief in that circuit until 2012. Chad was then reassigned as the Chief of the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit, where he remained for 3 years. He served in the District Director position from 2015 to 2021. Chad also serves as a post instructor and assists in various DCS trainings. He is a 1994 graduate of the University of Georgia with a bachelor's degree in social work, and in December of 2016, he graduated from the Command College program at Columbus State University and received a master's degree in public safety administration. Chad and his wife Shannon live in Athens, Georgia, and they have 4 children. Please welcome Deputy Director of Field Operations, Chad Purvis.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. I'd like to also thank Training for allowing me to get up here and speak. What an honor to be up here speaking before the basic Community Supervision Officer class. I still remember 20 plus years ago when I sat in the seat where you're sitting right now, and at that time, probably like some of you may be thinking, I certainly didn't think I'd be up here speaking 20-some years later. I didn't know what was in store for me at that time. And I can assure you that anybody that's an officer sitting out here in the crowd, and even the ones up here that went through basic, they can still be able to remember their basic class. They can remember where their classroom was at. I can remember even where I sat in my classroom. I know who's in my class. I was talking with Chief Rob Brooks. Rob and I were roommates 20-something years ago. So the time that you spend in basic with your classmates, I would encourage you to cherish those. You'll be in contact with them, you'll see them in other trainings, and if you need something in another office, I'm sure you'll rely on them as well. So the reason we're here today, I want to congratulate you as graduates. What you've done today is a huge accomplishment. The training that you got in these 9 weeks is the best training that we have to offer. You're going to be equipped to go out and supervise these individuals. When I went through years ago, as Rob and I were just talking about, it was only 3 weeks. I think I told you all that when I was in the class teaching a few weeks ago, and it seemed like the longest 3 weeks I can remember. They were all down here, but it was a long 3 weeks, and so again, congratulations to you guys. You're going to have the FTO program that's going to follow, and then you're going to be ready to go and be ready to supervise these individuals. Also, it's already been mentioned, but I'd like to say again to the family that's here, and maybe the ones that are back at home, they've been the ones that's been taking care of things while you guys have been here and working at home. I don't know all your situation, but I know they certainly deserve recognition. I would encourage you to do something nice for them because they have been putting up with you being gone. So thank you to all the family that's here. Just simply tell them thank you. And family, don't be Don't let them tell you otherwise. When they graduate from base, they get a raise, so they can take you out to eat. So, again, thank you to all of you today for being here. There's several points I'd like to hit on today. Graduates and family, I know you come here to hear me speak, but I would like to hit on a few points that I think are important and have helped me throughout my career. Some of them we talked about a few weeks ago when Tammy and I taught you in caseload supervision. And I think some of them are worth mentioning again, and there'll be some new things. So I'd encourage you to listen. Hopefully they'll help you succeed in your role as a community supervision officer. All right, so the first thing would be for you to be patient. All right, and what I mean by that is this job, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's not like any job you've ever had, okay, unless you had already done it in another field, okay? There's so many aspects of the job, and I tell people all the time, you know, new people that come into this field, it's going to take you probably a good year to learn this job. And you know, when you came on, whether you came on the first of this year or the end of last year, you probably got some things to learn, and now you've gone off the basic, and you're going to go back, and you're going to learn some more things, but you also are going to have to play catch up a little bit. So again, it goes into about a year, but I want you to be patient. There's some jobs that you can step in. Don't think that you can learn, you know, everything in just a month or two, because you can't. And like I said, in my 20 years, I still learn things all the time. So continuous learning, but I encourage you to be patient. Another thing that we talked about when we were teaching the class the other day is for all of you to be proud of the work you do, to take pride in the work that you do. And that seems self-explanatory, but I think it's important. I think it's important for public safety, but also for yourself as well. When we were teaching the caseload supervision class a few weeks ago, many of you raised your hand when we asked if you wanted to be promoted from where you were at now, which was Cadets. Many of you raised your hand for that. And so, along those same lines, if you want promotions, they're going to come if you do a good job, okay? So, when you go back to the office, maybe you had a good handle on what you were doing, and maybe you were struggling a little bit, but when you go back, that's a chance for you to do a good job, and the things that you learn in your training to incorporate those. You never know when an opportunity will become available. You can plan for it and say, after I do this, then I'm going to do that, but you never know. You never know who else will be going up for those opportunities. All you can do is be ready for those opportunities. And if you're doing a good job, it's going to be pretty obvious from your supervisors and your chief who's doing a good job. And like everybody says, and you may have heard this before, you're interviewing every day, okay? It may not have anything, it just may be you doing your job and meeting deadlines and being responsive to situations that come up as you're interviewing every day. Okay, the next thing would be to treat everyone, I emphasize everyone, with respect in what you do, okay? In your job, you have a lot of power. Sometimes you're over control over people that you supervise. And there may be situations where you may not, you may get away with not being as respectful as you should be. But I would encourage you to not take that path. If you treat the people that you supervise with respect, they're going to treat you back the same. Now, they may not always be a positive result, but I guarantee you, anybody that's been doing this for a while, and I think of a situation a few months ago where I was walking in Publix, and not even in the town where I supervised this individual, he came up to me, supervising probably 10 years ago, and he told me he appreciated me treating him with respect. And so you'll have that happen if you stay in this business, but there's a lot of people watching law enforcement these days, and then that includes the people you come in contact with in the community. You're going to be in situations where you're out doing what is your job responsibility, and you're going to run into things that don't have anything to do with your job, okay? And that's because of the position we're put in. So make sure that you treat everyone with respect, and you can, make sure that and you'll get a return for that. The next thing is that what you do as a community supervision officer does make a difference. I can promise you that. The individuals you supervise under felony, probation, or parole, you're giving them the tools to be successful and hold them accountable at the same time. And then there's a lot of power, as you know, when you get your badge and you take the oath today. You can decide a lot of times where people lay their head at night, meaning you can decide whether they go to jail or not. That's a lot of power, and I hope you realize that. Years ago, a few years into my career, I had maybe a year or two, I kind of questioned what I was doing. I think I had a string of people under my caseload that they were not doing well. They had maybe went to prison or just had failed. And so I questioned, what was I doing to make a difference in the community? And so there was somebody that I worked with, and they'd been doing it a while, and I asked them about it. And they gave me some pretty good advice, and I'd like to share that with you. And they just said that what you're teaching the people that you supervise now are discipline and structure. And they may have never had that either. Some of these people have never had that in their life. But the biggest thing that they told me was is that you may not see the difference you make today, but someday down the road you probably will. In fact, you may have people that you supervise, because you'll supervise a lot over the years, that you never know. You may never know what kind of difference you made in their life, but believe me, you did. So just keep that in mind whenever you do that. You may not see the immediate results, but down the road it will come back. All right, the next thing is about the opportunities within the Department of Community Supervision. And, we have over 2,000 employees with the Department of Community Supervision. And if you remember when Tammy and I taught your class, we've been teaching it for years, and we always do this. We always tell you what we've done in our career. And the reason we do that is because if you listen to what I've done, I've had a straight path up field operations. And then Tammy always tells hers, and hers is kind of like a curvy road where she's been. And so I say that to say there's a lot of opportunities. Years ago when I started, quite honestly, I wanted to be a PO, CSO2 for the next 30 years. That was my goal. I didn't want to supervise anybody. I'd been supervising people. But when I saw the opportunities that became available, I started taking advantage of it. So again, just make sure you take advantage of those. There's a lot of those that will come about. So a few more things, and these next few things I think are as important as anything that I've said, and I hope that they'll kind of give you some ideas about how to be successful in work, but also in life in general. And these are important, I believe. The first one is to have something that you like to do outside of work. Okay? We all work. We all have to work to make things that we, that we enjoy. And I think about years ago, even before I started this career, my father used to tell me some words, and he used to say it all the time. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I certainly do now. He always said, don't live to work, work to live. Okay? And so what that means is that shouldn't be your life. It's just important because when you work, you're allowed to make money and do the things that you enjoy. But don't make it your whole life. It's very important, and we need to focus on it when we're working. But make sure that you remember those words. Be able to unplug, find something that's not related to work, whether it's exercise, reading, going to a ball game, watching TV, whatever you like to do. Make sure you have that, and this is important, I believe. Next thing would be the work-life balance, which is similar, but I would say this is more specific to family, not just you as an individual. If you guys have been around long enough, that you know DCS supports the work-life balance. I don't see how you couldn't know that. And so DCS offers that, which is a great thing. But guess what? You're the one that has to make it happen. Just because it's offered doesn't mean that you're going to make it happen. And that's hard sometimes in our business. We have a lot of things that are urgent. And so, they've given us the Chromebooks. They've given us the ability to work anywhere. Sheriff's Department, coffee shop, anywhere. And that's great. But again, you have to make that happen. But I encourage you, again, from a family standpoint, when you're at home, I don't think your family probably wants you to be sitting there working, sitting on the couch with them, okay? So what I would encourage you would be to be there not only physically, but also to be there mentally with your family, and that's important. I never remember my wife or kids saying over the years that they wish I had worked more when they were at home. And if you use the tools that we taught you and you learned in training about working your caseload effectively and efficiently, then that's going to be a little bit easier. Okay, and then one more point I'd like to make would be about decisions you make in this career. All right, we talked about in training when I was in there about a month ago about the oath you're going to take, and you're about to take that oath. And I want you to take those words seriously whenever you do that, because yes, you are held to a higher standard. We've established that already. We said that in training. It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're at the restaurant or QT, wherever you're at, the things that you how you represent DCS and represent yourself. And also, you know, things you put on social media and things like that. And so make sure that you're making ethical decisions. You know, and I would say, you know, just do the right thing. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. And so again, I know some of those things that we've talked about when I taught class a few weeks ago, but I think they're important enough to mention again. And I guess the main thing I want to say is congratulations to you guys. Wish you all the best. I know I've had a part of hiring a few of you, which is exciting to me. I look forward to seeing what you do, and I also appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Over the past several weeks, these students have worked very hard, put in some long hours, and accomplished so much. At this time, we would like to show a brief video of the students' experience during basic training. We would like to now acknowledge some of our exceptional performers. Adam May, class coordinator for class 36, will now come forward for the presentation of awards.
Morning, everybody. Our first award is the Academic Award, which is given to the student who has the highest overall academic average. During basic, the students are required to pass 7 written exams, covering a variety of topics necessary to be successful as community supervision officers. The recipient of the Academic Award is Derek Newham from the Lake. Our second award is Team Competition. Team Competition was created to enhance physical fitness, encourage teamwork, and to develop problem-solving skills. Throughout basic, our students were faced with a series of challenges that pushed them to perform under stressful and uncertain situations. The teams were tasked with formulating a strategy based on individual strengths and weaknesses. Everyone showed an admirable amount of effort and competitive spirit, but the team that was able to edge out the competition was the yellow team. Victoria Manis, Shalicia Smith, Rachel Dover, Tyler Hugo, and Mr. Dyer. Our next award is Top Gun. This award is given to the student with the highest overall shooting average. Our students are required to shoot 2 scores of 80 or higher to qualify. The course of fire simulates different stages of combat, requiring the shooter to become proficient in skills, such as accurately firing from behind cover and shooting from a kneeling position. The recipient of the Top Gun Award goes to Sean Johnson from the Brunswick. The Leadership Award is presented to the student who consistently displays a willingness to lead by example. This individual was influential, self-motivating, displayed a positive attitude, demonstrated commitment, and emphasized the importance of teamwork. The Leadership Award is presented to Derek Newham from the Lakeland office. Our final award is the Adjunct Instructor Award. Adjunct instructors assist the Academy staff with various courses throughout basic. Each week, the class votes on adjuncts who most influence them. Our adjunct instructors of the week are Willie Mitchell, Brian Evans, Tammy Stubbs, and Andrew Malone. At the end of basic, students voted to name the overall recipient of the Adjunct Instructor Award. The outstanding adjunct instructor goes to Andrew Malone. Unfortunately, Andrew cannot be here today. He does send his gratitude and appreciation. We will accept this award on his behalf, and we'll see that he gets it. Thank you.
It is now the time that these students have been waiting for, the presentation of their certificates. Before the students receive their certificates and badges, Governor Brian Kemp has a message for the graduates.
Hello, this is Governor Brian Kemp. I want to congratulate you on graduating from the Basic Community Supervision Officer Training course. I commend you on your scholarship and your leadership abilities, as well as the discipline and hard work you have demonstrated. Moments from now, you will take the oath of office and become Georgia's newest group of community supervision officers. Your work protects our communities while changing lives for the better. As law enforcement professionals, you are well aware of the fact that a career in community supervision is unlike any other in our criminal justice system. Every day you are positioned on the front lines of the criminal justice system with the direct opportunity to bring about change in someone's life. The sacrifices you have made are not taken lightly, and you are to be commended for choosing such an honorable profession. With well-trained and dedicated officers such as you, I have no doubt that Georgia will continue to be a leader in the field of community supervision. I appreciate your commitment to serve the citizens of Georgia, and I will look forward to your future contributions to our great state. Congratulations again, and I wish you all prosperous careers and continued successes in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
The graduates will be called in alphabetical order. Families and friends, please feel free to come down to the front of the stage for pictures. Along with their certificates and badges, they have been presented with lapel pins from the Georgia Professional Association of Community Supervision. Students, please stand for the presentation of certificates. Rachel Bowden, Athens office. Darla Bodner, DeKalb office. Jack Corbin, Winder office. LaKelsey Dobson, Rome office. Andrea Golan Reedy, Savannah office. Ariana Hagan, Savannah office. Ashley Ivy, Morrow office. Sean Johnson, Brunswick office. Iman Lyons, Gainesville office. Victoria Mannix, Pardons and Parole. Derek Newham, Lakeland office. Tyler Akubo, Rome Office. Shalicia Smith, Savannah Office. Shantaria Smith, Noonan Office. Stephen Wellmaker, Morrow Office. Our Chief Operating Officer, Bert Fluellen, will now administer the oath of office.
Good morning again, graduates. Before I administer this oath, I want to leave you with a little reminder, and it's that this oath is not a formality. Okay? It is a bond, it is a promise to the citizens of the state of Georgia and your fellow peace officers across the state. And it is the very foundation of a career in public safety. Every day you go to work, you're going to have an opportunity to break this promise you make today. It's just the nature of the autonomous job that you're going to have. In that moment, I want you to think about this promise that you make today and do the right thing. If there's anybody here willing to take this oath, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the constitutions of the United States of America and the state of Georgia, and that I will faithfully perform and discharge the duties of my office conscientiously and without malice or partiality, to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations, officers.
You may be seated. Class President Derek Newham will now come forward to speak on behalf of the graduating class.
Good morning. On behalf of Class 36, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today as we conclude our training in Basic Academy. We'd like to give a special thanks to all those that took care of everything back home while we were away during this training. It was not overlooked and it was greatly appreciated. Thank you. We'd also like to thank all the instructors that took their time, knowledge, and efforts in helping establish foundations which we can build upon as community supervision officers. Back in the beginning of June, we came from all around the state to begin basic training to become CSOs. Our first week was firearms qualification, and during that time we were trying to figure each other out, each other's personalities, and of course there was real pressure to qualify at the end of the week. Over the course of the next 5 weeks, we learned the concepts and techniques of how to effectively and efficiently supervise within our communities. There were long days in the classroom, study sessions in hallways, and long evenings preparing for tests. In our downtime, personal stories and experiences were shared, and friendships and bonds were formed. Then came week 7, the week most of you probably already know about, defensive tactics. We got up close and personal, had some electrifying experiences, and we all felt burned. But most importantly, we were forced to push ourselves harder than what we may have thought we could. To my fellow officers of Class 36, we have counted down the weeks, the days, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds to get to this point. But this is just the beginning of our training. Take advantage of all the training and resources that are offered. I encourage you to hone your craft, sharpen your skills, lead from where you're planted, make goals and work towards them, and most importantly, take care of yourself, physically and mentally. Class 36, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Newman. Graduates, thank you all for your hard work and determination to succeed. Thank you for your passion and commitment to serve the citizens of Georgia. And remember, you are the future of this agency. I challenge you to strive daily to make a difference in the lives of those around you. We wish you the best as you begin this journey, and thank you in advance for your service. Before we conclude our ceremony with the benediction, we would like to acknowledge Vicki Roberts for 32 years. Mama. This is her last graduation since she'll be retiring at the end of the month. She's always ensured training is run smoothly, and we wish her well in her much-deserved retirement. Would everyone please rise for the benediction delivered by Sean Johnson.
If everyone could please bow your heads. Lord, I ask for courage to face and conquer my own fears, courage to take me where others will not go. I ask for strength of body to protect others, strength of spirit to lead others. I ask for dedication to my job to do it well, to my community to keep safe. Give me, Lord, concern for others who trust me, and compassion for those who need me. And please, Lord, through it all, be by my side. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Officer Johnson. That concludes our ceremony. Congratulations, officers.